Get used to monotonous jobs. A dictionary defines monotonous as tediously repetitious or lacking in variety. Among the myriads of troubles in a workplace, having a boring, monotonous job can be extremely stressful for any individual. For example, jobs with no growth prospects, repetitive jobs with no excitement, stuck in a rut kind of jobs, etc., can drive anyone crazy over some time. But what if you can't quit the job due to family responsibilities, dependents, health and age issues, etc.? Remember, it's not easy to simply quit your job just because it's boring. So, what do? Do you ruin your peace of mind by constantly brooding and complaining about your boring job? Or is there some solution that you can use? The answer is there are usable solutions, and this video will show you how. Many years ago, I happened to see a very happy postal worker during a visit to a post office. He was probably in his mid-30s and his job was to issue stamps. When I visited the post office recently, many years later, I saw the same person still in the job of issuing stamps, as happy as before. Seeing him happy made me very happy for some strange reason. Here is a man with a not very exciting job, yet happy as a free bird. Essentially, he chose to be happy in spite of doing a monotonous job. Similar to the saying, "Beauty is in the eyes of the beholder," a job can be highly exciting or extremely boring depending on the doer. The enjoyment of a job depends on several factors like age, health, salary, education, opportunities, etc. Even supposedly exciting jobs cannot remain perpetually exciting or sustainable for years and years. For example, when you are young and a famous football player, you may feel it's the best job in the world. But, think again. Can you keep playing football for the next 30 or 40 years? Obviously, not. In all probability, you will end your playing career within a few years and end up having a desk job somewhere. Many people dream that someday their humdrum lives will suddenly change for the better by suddenly becoming famous, winning the lottery, or some magic will happen like what happened to Cinderella. And they can live happily ever after, as most fairy tales usually end. But, unfortunately, such dreams come true for maybe 1 in 10 million people. A lot of jobs on this planet are indeed monotonous and repetitive. Very few jobs exist that can be classified as perpetually exciting, interesting, and financially rewarding. For example, the jobs of postal workers, traffic police, drivers, postmen, shop owners, security guards, civil servants, factory workers, laundry, salespeople, etc., are all monotonous. Even top executives and famous personalities with fancy incomes also feel tired and bored after some time, though they may not admit it openly. Either the work gets physically tiring, mentally stressful, or the joy is slowly going away. Probably, even famous billionaires like Steven Spielberg and Bill Gates may dread the Monday morning alarm and secretly feel, "Oh, my God. Here comes a new week and another $100 million to earn. How boring, smiley face." It's not always necessary for someone to criticize or harass you to feel bad about your job. If you believe you are in a boring or monotonous job, then you will soon tend to criticize yourself. You will start comparing your job with others who may have a great job. In economics, there is a law of diminishing returns, which states, the tendency for a continuing application of effort or skill toward a particular project or goal to decline in effectiveness after a certain level of result has been achieved. Applied to jobs, the brain refuses to accept even exciting work as perpetually exciting. A point of saturation will be reached sooner or later where you will start criticizing your job silently. I have seen software programmers and graphic designers who were extremely passionate about their jobs in their earlier years lose enthusiasm after a couple of years. It's the same exciting work, a better salary, and a fancy title, but the joy is gone. Most jobs are not monotonous, but the feeling of fun would have gone from the job. Even a top scientist, who has worked passionately and relentlessly to win a Nobel Prize, may rarely have the same passion a second time to attempt another Nobel Prize. So, there is no such thing as a perpetually exciting or a perpetually boring job. If you are willing to accept this, then life will be a lot easier to handle and you will also have less stress. And there are several ways to ensure that a monotonous job does not kill your zest in life. Tips for practicing this technique. It's important to accept the fact that most jobs do get monotonous after some time. But it need not make you miserable. Just imagine yourself without a job with a bunch of unpaid bills and loan sharks pounding on your door. That can suddenly make you excited about your boring job. Though there is nothing worse than a boring job, you can train yourself to be happy by accepting your limitations and trying to find some ways to break the monotony. If you start hating and disliking monotonous jobs, it can impact your health and peace of mind. And when you are tired and complain about your job, think of the unemployed, the needy, and those who wish they had your job. Do not expect your managers or the organization to keep you constantly happy and motivated. It's not possible or sustainable. Look for other ways and means to keep yourself happy. For example, having a hobby can create that much-needed diversion from constantly brooding about your monotonous job. Look around your home, town, or city and you will see people doing jobs worse than yours. Occasionally, compare yourself with the downtrodden, homeless people who have more difficulties than you. There are even people out there who are awaiting the death penalty. Suddenly you will realize your job and status in life is far superior to most others. Never insult your job or the type of work. There is an interesting story about a poor cobbler who had a kit containing the tools required for his job. One day, he purchased a lottery ticket, noted the number on a piece of paper, and gave the ticket to his wife for safekeeping. Luckily, his number won the first prize, which was a huge sum of money. In his jubilation, He became arrogant and threw his toolkit into a wild river, stating he had no use for the cursed thing henceforth. Rushing home, he asked for the ticket. His wife replied that she had kept the ticket inside his toolkit as she thought that would be the best place for safekeeping. So, the cobbler lost the tools required for his livelihood and also his potential fortune. What this story can teach you is the fact that all jobs are sacred in a way. The job you do may not be interesting or palatable, but never insult your job or the work you do. Many people often change jobs when they start getting monotonous. Unless you are willing to switch careers, the next job in the same type of industry for your work experience will also become monotonous after the initial excitement. For example, a financial accountant may switch from company A to company B, but the nature of the job is essentially the same. Perhaps a little more salary, a fancier job title, a better car and a few other perks, but the job does get monotonous over time. Secondly, switching a career from one field to another is not easy for most people. For example, switching from software programming to television advertising may not be achievable, unless you are willing to take risks and start fresh. People often think they can survive with their passion or hobby. But a passion for something is not necessarily a viable and sound business option. And not every passion can generate a sustained income for years and years. Many people have strong passions for hobbies like creative arts, teaching, writing, or something they love to do. But before jumping ship, give it a hard thought whether those passions can bring you enough money to lead a decent life. The job you love to do may not necessarily feed you and your dependents on a sustained basis. Remember, feeling strongly about an idea is different from a profitable business. Don't do anything stupid like quitting your monotonous job without any alternate income and put yourself or your family in trouble. So, learn to love your monotonous job for the paycheck and the security it brings. It's better to have a job that regularly brings in some money than follow a passion that may or may not shield you and your family from financial troubles. Remember, you owe your family a decent living, and a paying job would pay your bills, provide health and life insurance, your kids' fees, and protect your family. Now let us listen to some famous quotes. Choose a job you love, and you will never have to work a day in your life. Confucius. The only way to do great work is to love what you do. Steve Jobs. If you're bored with life, if you don't get up every morning with a burning desire to do things, you don't have enough goals. Lou Holtz. Boredom is the feeling that everything is a waste of time. Serenity, that nothing is. Thomas Sachs. That's all, folks. Thanks for watching.